Oh, well, hello, my wonderful broskers and broskers of the Maverick Nation, and welcome to What If Izuku had basically What If Izuku was Ultraman Part 3. Basically, yeah, What If Izuku was Ultraman Part 3? And that is what this is. Mm, mm, mm. Just need to get my head on straight. Felt a little crooked there for a moment. So, the thinking. Anyways, after Izuku explaining everything about how the whole Ultra Force works, to Aizawa's shock horror, and Principal Netsu, the other pro heroes, All Might, their reactions. Mm. It was a. It was safe to say it was a hot mess. So basically, the next thing, heroes versus villains, because of the fact that, everyone knows about Izuku's power, even whenever he's not in the suit, the Ultraman suit, like the Ultraman form, they basically rig it up to be a handicap match, with Izuku being the hero team and Ochako Uraka, Katsuki Bakugo, and Tenya Ida all being in the villain team. And, this time Ochako and Ida would both be, guarding the bomb. And Ida, decided, if, like, you know, Bakugo takes too long, one of us should probably go down there and help him. So, yeah, that's, like, the only exception. Is, like, if it seems like he's taking too long. And, Izuku is just like, you know, he's just, he's like, so they want to make this a handicap. Okay, I can deal with that. And literally, his hero suit is the Ultraman suit. Like him going in with the Ultraman suit. So basically, he goes in normally at first, just so that people don't get killed. Because if him in the Ultraman suit, him in the Ultraman form, is two Ultras, like Ultra times two, as said in the last part, yeah, the people at UA don't want to risk anyone dying. So they go ahead and decide, you know, Izuku, you can go in normally. You can go in as normal. But to their surprise, it turns out that, in the middle of Izuku, sleeping, you know, during the night, like, he was trying to find something to do while he was asleep. He was just, like, getting really frustrated. And so him and Ultraman ended up pulling some strings, so to speak. Even adding in some certain features that Ultraman believed like his mom would probably add in. And apparently Ultraman was right because Inko was like, damn, Ultraman knows me very well. And Izuku's like, well, technically, I'm Ultraman and I know you very well. Inko's like, oh yeah, about that whole, the double entendre of Ultraman. I don't even know what I'm saying. Double entendre? Just like Ultramanception, I guess. I guess you could call it Ultramanception. But, yes, so the whole hero suit that he has, it's basically, it's the hero suit that he has on, you know, it's his hero suit in canon, is basically what they made, you know, while they were in his mind while he was asleep, because, ultra power. And so, basically, the pro heroes actually notice something while they're in the whole room observing everything. There is one extra person that was not here originally, and that person looks like Izuku, but not. Like, Izuku had given some hints as to what the Ultraman form looked like. Like, pro heroes don't know what the Ultraman form looks like. Neither do the kids, because Bakugo doesn't remember a lot about that whole school thing. And Izuku really hasn't really tried to, show off. He hasn't really been all show offy whenever considering the Ultraman form. So this person kind of looks similar to Ultraman, or at least what they remember being told about Ultraman. Similar, but not quite, completely, 100% copy. Principal Natsu is like, who the hell are you? It's just like, this person just like, you know, calm your tits. My name is Ultra 7. And All Might is just like tugging at his collar, sweaty collar moment here. Sweaty collar moment. Because, he knows about the whole thing with Ultraman and Ultra 7 and not getting along. Because, he was informed about that. And so were the other pro heroes. And Aizawa especially, because Aizawa's their teacher, and Aizawa was just like, "You're Ultra 7?" It's just like he's actually kind of scared because he's like, if Yusuke figures this out, he's Ultraman, he himself is Ultraman. So, and Ultraman doesn't like Ultra 7, or at least that's what he remembers. Izuku telling him things could go very badly, very fast. And Principal Netsu was just like, shoo, 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 get out of here. You want to get us killed? Because Netsu was terrified of what Izuku could do if he, went into the Ultraman form. Just, if Ultraman just, took over as the dominant, personality and just all automatic Ultraman form and just went nuts on them because Ultra 7 was there. Yeah, Principal Netsu, he kind of messed himself whenever he basically noticed that Ultra 7 is insane. He kind of messed himself, but he's not going to admit it to anyone else because that's embarrassing. So, but basically, Principal Netsu is like, shoot, shoot, go away, leave here at once. And seeing as still no one has corrected me about this, I'm just gonna keep on saying it the way I've been saying it. Zafi, Zofi, whatever. Basically, Ultra 7 says that Zafi, Zofi, whatever their name is, basically sent him over to watch, like, see what this Izuku kid does with Ultraman's powers. And Ultra 7 even scoffed. He's like, "Meh, he's probably not even going to be that good. I mean, you guys did make it a 1-on-3. He's gonna get pummeled into the ground. And I'm going to enjoy seeing it. Because, like, Ultra 7 and Ultraman freaking hate each other. I'm gonna make it, like my own headcanon. They freaking hate each other. But Ultra 7's really good at hiding it. Not so, Ultraman, not so much, but Ultra 7's really good at hiding it. Just really good at hiding it. And that's why he, like, a lot of the reason why he's favored over Ultraman. And Ultraman, like, Principal Nesu was just glad that Izuku apparently doesn't know about Ultra 7 being here. Because if Izuku knew, that would mean that Ultraman knew, and oh boy. So basically, the entire thing starts like All Might has to start it. He has to say, he has to step up. He has to grow the balls. So he's just like, start, like, start the whole thing. And, Bakugo just gets the go around to, head up there, head up into, like, basically head up in Izuku's face. And, Izuku is like, just like, uses a very clever version of the magnetization beams. He uses like a version of them which is invisible and doesn't make a lot of noise, kind of like if you guys have ever played like GoldenEye, like 007 GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64, there's the PP7 and the PP7 silencer. He basically like pulls like a silencer, like makes it like very quiet. So like the sound isn't very easy to hear. And he makes them invisible. So yeah, Bakugo just gets magnetized to the wall. And Izuku's just like, well, that's that, I guess. And Bakugo's like, I can still use my arms, you freaking nerd. And just like, just sends like a thing, like a blast at him. And basically, Izuku's just like, okay, I've had enough. He just grabs the explosion and just swipes it out, like cuts it in half. He literally like grabs it, like suspends it in like mid animation, and like cuts it in half. He cuts an explosion in half, and Bakugo was just like, "How the hell did you even?" He's like, "How the hell?" And Izuku's just like, "Shh, be quiet for once in your life, you angry Pomeranian Chihuahua." Uh, I guess if this is the only way I'm gonna get you to shut up, then, like, Izuku's just like, I guess, then, Ultra Force! He just, like, puts a little bit of the Ultra Force into his, like, hand, and then, right into Bakugo's lower intestine. And, like, Bakugo's just, he can't even speak. Just, like, right into Bakugo's lower intestine. And basically, Bakugo is null and void now. He's basically done. And so Izuku no longer sees any need to use his magnetization beams. Just like wraps Bakugo up in the quirk nullification tape. Maybe a little bit too excessively. He looks like the freaking mummy Amotep. After Izuku's done with him. After Izuku's done with his ass. He's just like, well, I guess that's a thing. And he's like, wait, why am I floating? And basically, Ochako was like, okay, I'll go down there. Bakugo's been down there for way too long. He's like, and she's just like, and all of a sudden Izuku's floating. And Izuku's just like, hey, Ultraman, is it just me, or do we both find this extremely asinine and annoying overall? And Ultraman's just like, you and me too, bruh. And then they just, boom, Ultraman transformation. And basically, it's just like, Ultraman transformation. And and all of a sudden, Ochako's like, why isn't my quirk working anymore? And just, like, Ultraman, like, Izuku Ultraman pulls a freaking Zone Fighter and just shoots the rocket laser attack that like Zone Fighter used to kill Gigan, the rocket laser attack thingy from his head. He just does the same thing and and just sends it after Ochako. And Ochako is like so startled, like, what the hell? It's like whoosh and and connects, knocks her the frig out, and mummifies her. And just ultra speeds all the way up, like boost to winds all the way up there. And Ida's there, and Ida's like, "Oh, so you beat both of them? Well, you're not gonna beat me." And he just speeds over there, and by the time he speeds over there to the other side of the room where Izuku was supposed to be at, he just hears, "The heroes have won," and then he sees Izuku's at the other side of the room, and he just touched the bomb as fast as Ida was able to get to the other side of the room. Izuku was able to do the same at the other side of the room before Ida could even register that he had actually moved himself. So, yeah, Ida's in a lot of mine. He is in a lot of that now. He is just like, welcome to the mind. He's just like, he's like, I can't I can't do it. It's like my brain hurts. All the hurt. It's just like Izuku, is just like master classing. And he's just like, the hero has won, like the shit. Because All Might knows that it's just Izuku and the hero team and everybody else in the villain team. But like everybody's like just like flipping their shit whenever he sees that he basically quirk nullifying tape mummified every single last one of them. Even Ida, like he chopped Ida in the back of the neck and knocked him out, and just zombie like mummified him. Like Jesus. And he's just like, I give you about 6 seconds to figure out which one's which. He's just still in that Ultraman personality. And as I was like, quit messing around. And, Izuku would be like, what's Aizawa's deal? He looks like he's actually like kind of distressed. Is this about the Hollow Earth thing? Like underground civilization? No, this is different. And Ultraman's just like, yo, Eraserhead, time to cough up some answers before I get serious. And Izuku has to pay for my actions. And so basically just switch on to the full Ultraman personality and just like, you know, pay for my actions. And, like Aizawa was like, The only thing he can say is Ultra 7. That's the only thing that he can say. He's just like, that's the only thing he can say, like, Ultra 7. And as soon as he hears that name, Ultraman is like, that son of a is here? And it's just like, he just grabs Aizawa by the throat and just like, where is he? Where is Ultra 7? And All Might's coming down there and he's like, release Aizawa from your grasp, Izuku. And he just looks he just looks to All Might and he's like, Izuku's not the one in control now. It's me. I am Ultraman. And just throws Aizawa into a wall. Just like, I want to know where the hell Ultra 7 is. But he's basically like, it's me, Ultraman. And he just throws Aizawa into the wall. And he's like, I want to know where the hell Ultra 7 is. Where are you hiding him? Where are you hiding the son of a... And All Might's just like, look, what gives you the idea that Ultra 7 is here? And, Ultraman just points to Aizawa, and he just makes this motion. And, like, All Might is just like, Aizawa, what the fuck? He's like, he's like, like, mouthing that over to Aizawa's direction, like, and Aizawa's like, what was I supposed to do? It's like he's not even Izuku anymore. And All Might is like, I'm quite aware of that. And, Ultraman just gives All Might a good punch into his injury. Because Ultraman does not give a who freaking lives or dies. He is pissed. He is like, Ultra 7. I am going to find him, however many bodies I have to put in bags afterwards. No matter how many that takes. I will find Ultra 7 and figure out why the hell he's even here to begin with. And Principal Nesu was just like, hold your fire, bucko. Like, it's just, I have Ultra 7 with me. And Ultra 7's just like, so Ultraman, you finally come out of hiding. And Ultraman's like, I should be saying that to you, Ultra 7. And Ultra 7's like, you know where I've been all this time. Besides, I figured out your whole little crashy splody situation. I guess we really should just not trust you with our own planet's technology. You always seem to muck it up. Always seem to just... And, Ultraman is just like, Ultra 7, say another word, and this fist will go through... like, Ultraman is seething with anger. And Ultra 7 is just like, okay. Let's just control the situation. We don't need you-know-who coming down here, right? I came down here to observe how a human with a power of Ultra having your powers would act. Plus, I had also heard some records about kaiju activity, though there seems to be no mass hysteria or fear from the populace, so I must have been hoodwinked into something I didn't want to be in the first place. Pain in the ass every time I have to look at your ugly mug, Ultraman. And Ultraman's just like, the sick. And before he can finish, he's just like, wait, kaiju? The hell? What kaiju were they talking about? Is it the gargantuas again? Is it Baragon? And Ultra Seven's just like, nope, nope. And and Ultraman's like, is it the giant claw? And and Ultra Seven's like, nope. And that also means, it isn't Q either. And if you're going to ask me if it's about that whole thing with that egg and the whole divine moth problem, no. We got rid of that millennia ago, remember, friend? And Ultraman's like, first of all, Ultra 7, and he just grabs him by the neck, and he's just like, I'm not your friend. And second of all, if it's not them, then what is it? And, you know, like, like, like Ultra 7 is just like, some kaiju. It comes from the earth, from underneath it. Some sort of clan. They're upset. Apparently, certain hero villain activity has upset the masses of their clan, and in order to put a stop to it, they have assigned their kaiju, in which they own, to attack the surface world. We aren't exactly sure where they're planning on sicking their pet first, but there is a suspicion that it's probably Japan, seeing as it was the same in the past with this thing. And, Izuku is just like, Izuku and Ultraman both are just like, ugh. And, it's just like, Izuku's kind of like getting back into the driver's seat a little bit, and he's like, Ultraman, it's that underground civilization again, isn't it? It's them. The ones that control Megalon. That's the one who was sent out to attack. And hero villain activity? Looks like they're woken up again. And so they weren't exactly too happy. Now, they're probably going to sick Megalon on some unsuspecting citizens. And Ultraman is just like, I know the exact creature that is going to soon plague the Earth. And Ultra 7 is like, how do you know, Ultraman? And Ultraman's just like, well, I have a couple hunches. Not like I'm going to ever tell you. Besides, we may need more than just the sum of our parts in order to deal with this one. And Ultra 7 is like, what do you mean? And Ultraman is just like, well, might take us a while to find him, or what's left of some of his parts, but we should be able to put him back together. It's been so long. I don't know if the creatures of the Hollow Earth will accept us being on their turf. And Ultra 7 is just like, so wait, you're saying there's a being similar to us, that has power similar to us, that's deep within the Hollow Earth, that we could use to assist us? What about Zone Fighter? Why not him? And, like, Izuku and Ultraman both answer that, like, Like, Izuku's pretty sure he heard from Ultraman that basically he heard from Ultra 7 about, you know, actually, no, Izuku heard from Ultraman about Zone Fire being out of commission, and he probably wouldn't even want to join them anyways, and Izuku's probably like, you probably wouldn't want to hear the reason why, and, Ultrasound's like, no, enlighten me. And Ultraman's just like, coming from him, not me, he thinks you're a stuck up prick of an Ultra. That's why. And, he even gives like a voice clip, and it it is very clearly the voice of Zone Fighter saying that. And, Ultra 7 is like, why, that little. If only I knew where he was, I'd kick his ass right here, right now. And Ultraman is like, I thought we didn't have time for that. We should make the time that we do have left before that thing is sicked on all of Japan to gather the parts for you know what. Well, actually, I don't think you know what exactly I'm planning here. The seeds that are being planted. And, like, Ultra 7 is just like, uh, it's very confusing. What are you planning, Ultraman? And Ultraman's just like, well, hmm, wait, what's that? Over there. And, Aizawa is just like, it's rising up from, it's rising above the model city. Basically, there's like this big gate, like across from the model city. Actually, like a gate to the model city, and they can see a creature rising up from like a big, like piece of like a giant water chasm. They can see a creature rising up from it, and they can see that if their eyes aren't tricking them, it's a lot bigger than the gate. And it's actually so much bigger than the gate, in fact, that it's actually able to step over the gate of the model city. And any of the alarms that would have, been set off, it blasts like some sort of breath at everything, and so the alarms just get destroyed. And like any robots that would try to fight it, they get obliterated. So yeah, and then this giant creature is just like, what were you saying about Hollow Earth? That's my domain. And you know, Izuku and Ultraman both in unison can basically just like say, we know about a certain someone who is similar to us. Their parts, they're down there. We're both sure of it. And it's just like, it's just, and like this giant monster thing is like, by the way, my name is Gojira, and if you're wondering about parts, I heard everything. After all, I am big enough to be able to hear all of your crazy ramblings, you ultras. If it's a certain someone's parts you're wanting, I talked it over with the rest of the Kaiju Council. You can have them. And he just drops parts, and it's like Ultraman without even needing Ultra 7's help. Like Ultraman and Izuku putting their brains to work, they're able to put, whatever this thing is supposed to be back together pretty good. And like this creature, this giant creature, like breathes inside of the thing that they just created with the parts, and the breath actually, because it's like kaiju like breath that has like memory cells to it, like to like wake it up, it actually brings it to life. But hey, the thing that arose from the water chasm is the king of the monsters. That's why I was able to step over the gate. Because Godzilla's a huge motherfucker. And basically, the first thing you hear is like, like Jet Jaga, Jet Jaga, da 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 da, punch, punch, punch. He's like, and like Ultraman's like, well, that's all well and good, Jet, but we have a problem. And Jet Jaguar is just like, what's the problem? Like, what's the problem? And Ultra 7 is just like, wait, I've never heard or seen anything about something like this. And, you know, basically Godzilla just tells him that's because Jet Jaguar is sacred to the Hollow Earth, and only to the Hollow Earth. You may have similarities to Jet, but he is sacred to us as our example of what? Basically, a Hollow Earth version of the standard Ultra. Let's see who's stronger, an actual Ultra or our example of an Ultra. Jet, show the invader who's boss. And Jet is like, who is the invader? And Gojira is like, you might remember him before, like, you assisted in his defeat. And Jet is like, Megalon. And, Izuku is like, yeah, that's right. And it's going to come very soon. We don't know exactly when, but we know that it's going to happen. And basically, Jet is like, I will assist you in the defeat of Megalon. But I wish for Gojira to be on my side, like old times. And basically, Gojira is just like, I'm not the same Gojira that fought by your side before, whenever it was Megalon and Gigan. I'm not the same one, and I never will be. And Megalon is like, well, then where is that Gojira? And, basically, Gojira just says, long dead. Don't worry, he was given a proper burial. I'm the king of the monsters now. And, Jed is just like, he just has a sad expression. Just like, he's sad. It's like, Gojira was his buddy. Gojira and Anguirus and Rodan, they were buddies. And, but, and Gorosaurus was there too. And Mothra. And, it's just like Izuku, like Ultraman, is just like, I know it's sad, but well, it must be sad for you, but I don't really remember much of the supposed past Godzilla. However, that doesn't mean I don't have my own respects. If you and him were friends, and I'm tied to Ultraman making me Ultraman, as well as Ultraman being Ultraman, That means that if you're the kaiju's representation of what an ultra is, you and I, we have a certain friendship to keep, I guess. And Judd is like, friendship? We are friends. He's like, damn straight we are. And Ultra 7 is just like, oh my god, what have I gotten myself into? Like, oh god, this jet guy's gotta be a pain in the ass. He's probably gonna be following him around like a freaking poodle or something. I just had to come down here. Zoffy, whatever, isn't going to bring me back up until all this is done and over with. So I guess I'm stuck with the kid, Ultraman, and this piece of trash until we finish this. And Jet is actually kind of getting a little defensive and just like, piece of trash? Who are you calling a piece of trash? And, you know, like, just to be a dick, like, Ultra 7 is just like, hey, Jet, read off your serial number. And, like, Izuku just stops, like, serial number 00070067411000000 and just reads off the serial number for him. And this actually activates a new mode for Jet, personality. And basically, Jet is just like, you were saying something about my serial number, asshole? And it's like, BAM! Like, Ultra 7 basically gets put in his place. And so basically, if we were to do like a tier list of who's like the most powerful and who's like the least powerful out of like the ultras we have here, like obviously Zafia is like top ultra, and like basically like lowest tier ultra we would have is like Zone Fighter. Like he's cool and jazz and all, like in that like blue suit thing like that he has going on. But you know, Zone Fighter, like he's Zone Fighter, but he's not like an Ultra Fighter. Like, the Ultras are what runs through for like the the guys like stuff. And so like Zone Fighter would be more towards the bottom tier. I'm not saying he'd suck, but I'm just saying that he'd be more towards the bottom tier. Like they're all okay in their own ways, but Zone Fighter's more towards the bottom tier. And then next, like if we're going from like weakest to strongest, we would have like Ultra 7 because now that Izuku and Ultraman have made like that pact, that joint venture, they basically like I've stated before, twice their strength. So yeah, like if Ultraman was below Ultra 7 before, now he's above him. So it would go Ultra 7, then Ultraman, and Ultraman would be tied with Jet Jaguar. Yes, actually, Jet is seeing as it like Ultra made a link with another human, but Izuku's a teenager, and whoever, like in the Ultraman TV series, I believe was an adult. Izuku's a teenager, plus he's quirkless, and that whole thing. So, you know, it would basically make sense that they would be, level Jet and Ultraman. And why am I saying that Jet would be stronger than Ultra 7 and Zone Fighter? Well, let's just say that if Jet's able to stand with, you know, Godzilla, the king of the monsters, if he's able to stand with him, and you know, Jet indeed was able to stand with Godzilla, that he's nobody to laugh at. He is probably going to be a serious motherfudger, and you would take that into like aspect, and also take into consideration that Ultraman and Izuku have had to work for what they have. Like they've been like looked at as the bottom, whenever really, if they work hard enough, they are basically the top. Like basically they're the underdog who rises to superstardom. That's basically what the whole Izuku Ultraman thing represents. And just the fact that Jet could stand with Godzilla and keep up with him, like help him defeat Gigan and Megalon. Well, they really didn't defeat Gigan. Gigan ran away. But hey, you know, that's gonna make them equal in my book. Jet and Izuku Ultraman are going to be equal at the top, and below that would be Ultra 7, and below that would be Zone Fighter, because Ultra 7 is an Ultra, and Zone Fighter is just Zone Fighter. Not saying that he's weak, I'm just saying that, Ultra 7's an Ultra, and Zone Fighter's just Zone Fighter. And I'm probably going to get a lot of hate from people who like Zone Fighter, so. Well, hey, at least he was mentioned. At least I did that. So, don't hate the player, hate the game. Ugh. So, here's the thing I'm going to start doing. I'm going to, I'm going to eventually do two series in the future. A What if Izuku was Superman? And What if Izuku was Batman? And in terms of which one comes up first, like gets like you guys get first, like in terms of which one you get first, like which one gets uploaded first, the Superman or the Batman. You know, the way you guys basically have a deciding factor in which gets uploaded first. I'm going to record both eventually, but you guys will have the deciding factor in which one gets uploaded first, which one you guys see first, which one is the first to come out. And how I'm going to decide this is basically like, subscribe, leave a comment. We need to get to, I hate doing this, but for this special occasion, if we can get, if you guys can get your boy to, say, 100 subscribers within the time span of, let's say, what is it, March? I believe it is March. That's what it says on the calendar. I believe it is March now, in the middle of March. Yeah, it is March the 7th, apparently. Well, that's from what I can see. March the 7th. If you guys, basically, you guys have until the start of summer to get me to 100 subscribers. And, throw a like or a comment around if you want to. But you guys got until the start of summer to get me to 100 subs. And, you know, how I'm going to determine this is if I get 100 subs, like before the start of summer, you guys have until like the start of summer. That will be the end. That will be the cutoff date for the whole subscriber thing. Give me to 100, or maybe even above 100 if you guys feel that way. But 100 is all I'm asking. Come on, if we got this far, we can make it to 100 by the end of summer. If you can do that before the end of summer, that'd be great. All I'm asking is 100 subs before the end of summer. And hey, that's a whole entire two, like, freaking seasons. You got spring, got all of spring to get me to 100 subs. And basically, also like and comment and, click the notification bell, click the little bell to get notified. And if actually, we need to rework that goal because I just realized how backwards it kind of sounds. It's still going to involve like some sort of goal, but seeing as it's Superman and Batman, I know, I know it's still going to involve getting me to 100 subs before the end of spring, which would be the start of summer. So before spring ends, you have before spring ends. You have before the start of summer to get me to 100 subs. And the other thing you guys got to do is not only get me to 100 subs, because that will basically decide on whether I even do either what if or not. It will basically just decide that. This is like Superman and Batman, so you guys go in the comments section and, give a vote. Like, I know there's some people who like vote multiple times, and basically, I'm going to try to count like the votes. I'm going to try to tally it up as best I can, and basically, if I see more people vote like vote for Batman, and like request Batman, I'm going to do the Batman one first. But if I see more people vote for Superman, I'm going to do Superman first. Now, you guys may not think this is really all that organized because, I'm really just acting like I'm probably not going to even look through all of the votes because basically, if I see that Batman is getting a lot more votes than Superman, I'll do Batman. If I see that Superman is getting a hell of a lot more votes, basically, whichever I think ended up winning on a landslide. So, if you want this to come out before this, you gotta have it win by a landslide. You guys, a lot of people have to vote on one thing, you know. So, yeah, it's basically 100 subs before the end of spring, and whichever side gets up to votes to the point of it being a landslide victory. Whichever side gets a landslide victory, and if you guys can get me to 100 subs before the start of summer. That's all you guys have to do. 100 subs before the end of summer. I mean, not before the beginning of summer. Basically, 100 subs before summer starts, and whichever basically in my mind wins by a landslide in terms of votes for like who wants to see what more. I hope I was able to get that through to you guys clearly. I hope I wasn't I hope I wasn't like overloading you guys, but I know you guys are smart. There are a lot of smarty pantses out there that hopefully will be able to understand what I just said, what I just proposed to you guys. So 100 subs before the beginning of summer, and whichever ends up landslide victory in terms of votes. Anyways, I won't see any analysis because the Dark Shadow Maverick is OUT out of here. Ya boys, bye.